Hey everybody, what's happening? I'm your host T-Swag Ebanks, and these are my co-hosts.
I'm Andrew J. Benally.
And I'm Mark Charette.
Now, we're going to be talking about Central Tech. What you guys know about Central Tech?
I know that it's a really big school in downtown Toronto. And before, a couple weeks ago, that's all I knew about it.
I also know that they have an elevator that we didn't get to use because it was currently broken at the time.
I also know that it has 6 floors, is it?
6 floors.
6 floors.
A lot of stairs.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm. And what did we do there last week?
Pretty much just interview students. I believe they're from the ages of 15 to 18.
Yeah.
Had a roundtable discussion with them. A lot of them said that they want to open their businesses one day. They also had an opinion about police officers that they don't trust no police.
We talked a lot. We talked a lot about the police, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I definitely felt like when we were talking with them, it started out really rough.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, you could tell there was a bad vibe in the room.
Well, because like they're different kids and we're older, and this is the first time they're meeting us. We're just some guys coming along asking them random questions.
I think a lot of it had to do also too with like Drew Man said, they don't really know us like that, right? So I feel like, and in their minds, like they don't really trust older people. They think everyone's against them, and that mind state, like being that age, like you think everybody's against you. I remember being and feeling like that. So they're probably like, oh yeah, you guys are just with these older gentlemen, and you guys are probably cops or secret spies or whatever they think, snitches.
Snitches
You know
get
what I'm
stitches.
saying? So who knows what they thought? So I feel like that's what it was. And once they kind of seen how we move and seen our atmosphere,
We're just some chill guys.
they kind of just broke the ice a bit. And they're like, all right, you know what? Now we're gonna be more open to these guys and talk to them more. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely not a
definitely
fan of the
had to break
police, that's for sure.
Well, I remember we had Raj. Raj got you to start talking to the kids.
Yes.
And me and Drew were setting it up. We were having a hard time. We were not doing so great with the tech side.
Kev was there though.
Kevin was helping us out.
Kevin helped us out, and I really liked that journey because it did teach me a lot about this whole technical side, and that's what I want to do with my life, is be like a technical producer or something like that. And
For sure.
I learned a lot. It was a good experience for me.
I know. Raj just kind of just threw me in the jungle and said, listen, you're gonna talk to these kids, ask them, what they want to talk about. And I was like, okay. And me being a snooper, I thought this was like, I don't know. I'm glad it went the way it did because it kind of started off a little rough, like you said.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that one of the kids, I forget his name.
Which
the
one
with the
was that?
dreads
The one with the dreads?
Jarrell?
Is it Jarrell?
Jarrell was the one who wanted to be a chef.
Chef. Okay, I think
I do
that's him.
remember that
Yes.
one.
So Jarrell, I remember him like I thought he was saying that he talking about basketball, like talking about the Raptors and stuff. So I was snooping, And so like when I first went in there, I was just like, when Raj kind of threw me in there, I was just like to him, I was like, you're talking about ball? You're talking about basketball? He's like, no, I wasn't talking about ball. I'm like, you sure? He's like, no. So I was like, okay. So I was kind of like, okay, you're an idiot. Like, what are you doing? So then I said to myself, I'm like, so what do you want to talk about though? Like, what do you aspire to be? Like, what kind of things do you want to do with your life? Or, what kind of topics do you want to bring up? He's like, business. I'm like, okay, all right, that's cool. What about business? He's like, I don't know, I want to open a business. I said, okay, perfect. Hold that thought, we'll get there. And then, who else was it? Raj kind of just took on the, what was picking at that one girl. And she didn't want to stand up for whole Canada.
Yeah.
I can accept that. Like, why should you have to stand up for Canada?
I
heard that song 5 days a week for the last 13 years.
No, I think you should definitely stand up for all Canada. My opinion, you know what I mean?
I think you should.
Out of respect.
Yeah.
For
pride in your own country.
But
You live here. Are you happy to be here?
Yeah.
I also don't think she was being really that disrespectful because she wasn't like talking, or she like put
No,
her
she
cell
was-
phone
yeah.
down. She wasn't like disrupting anybody. She sat there and listened to the old Canada.
No, I personally still think that no matter what, like, stand for
Yeah.
the national anthem.
I don't know the exact reason to stand up. I do it.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, that's
You know
the
what
only
it
reason
is?
that I think.
I think it was embedded in our minds since like we were young, like since kindergarten. You
Yeah.
go to kindergarten, you're like, stand up for old Canada, sing old Canada. They teach you how to sing old Canada. That's part of like the curriculum. Sing old Canada. I know that song like the back of my hand. Like, you know what I mean? I'll never
the French
forget it.
version.
Yeah, even the French version. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
I think the reason why she didn't stand up is because she was it was like a religious thing.
She was
wasn't it?
Jehovah's Witness, yeah.
Yes.
Jehovah's Witness.
But like you see, like that's the thing with Canada.
She didn't believe in the nationality of things like sectioning off parts of the world based on where you live.
Yeah, I can understand that.
It's reasonable.
Yes.
As long as you have a reason. If you're just sitting down, you're like, oh, my legs are tired. Well, you know what? Stand up.
Yeah, I agree.
There's people out there who don't have legs.
It's true.
There's people out there that their legs were tired when they were fighting those wars for our freedom.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, like this is the thing about Canada, because there's so much like different cultures and whatnot. It's hard to say that this person is being disrespectful based on what they believe in. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, you know, even though Canada is multicultural, you still have to kind of be a part of it. You see the thing about America? America's Americanized. Once you're American, you act like American, you do things like American. There's no real
culture.
It's
American
to it.
culture.
It's an American culture, exactly. Canada's kind of more flexible in that
sense. You walk through downtown Toronto and you come across 13 different cultures while you're going through that.
Yeah.
There's every other block, you're like, oh, this little Koreatown.
Yeah, that's true.
There's little Jamaica, there's stuff like that, little Italy, there's everything.
Yep, it's true.
There's like little New Zealand.
Yeah. Even in the class, there was a lot of different. It felt like people were coming from a lot of different directions.
Yes, I agree.
Like a lot of them lived in downtown, which is we were getting a lot of like police stories and stuff like that. That's where it was coming from. Not too many people from my end.
No, me neither.
Yeah,
well, not from the east at least.
Mark lives out in the boons.
Yeah.
Boon hoons.
Way out there.
He deals with like the county sheriffs.
They will whoop your butt, man.
Take you out for a midnight walk.
I deal with the mayor.
Yeah.
Well, if you live in a town of 4,000 people, you probably need to know them.
It's true. All right, people, we're going to break. Stay tuned. We got more on the way about Central Tech.
College Corner here with Mark Charette, and I got my guys here.
I'm Taji Banks.
I'm Andrew J. Benelli.
All right, and today we're talking about Central Tech, that huge school in downtown Toronto, really old school. And those kids had a lot to say. So
Definitely.
What were some of the things we were talking about?
Police, them being harassed by police.
Well, of course, this all happened in the news right now. They can't stop talking about police brutality and everything.
Yeah.
That's basically the hot topic right now.
Surprisingly, too, a lot of them are talking about what type of businesses they want to open and run, especially at that age. I find that very, very good. Like, I'm actually happy for them. Mind-boggling also, because at that age, most students or most people are not really thinking that they want to run businesses or open businesses.
Oh, when I was that age, I think I still wanted to be an architect
Yeah.
or a paleontologist. I had so many things on the table at that age.
Definitely.
I'm so happy that they actually have a goal in mind that they can stick with and follow.
At that age, I just want to graduate high school. That's all I was really thinking about.
Just want to get by, huh?
Exactly.
Get out of the mess.
And we brought up a lot of points about racial profiling and carding and the new police chief, Mark Saunders.
Yeah.
So how did that go?
Honestly, at first, I feel like it was a bit, it got to a point where it was a bit like very, like direct and especially in Muhammad, I believe his name was.
Yeah.
He was saying, "Oh, I don't trust police. The police are they're this, they're that."
Well, there was a pretty even mix among the people that none of them really trusted the police. That's for sure.
For sure. And my the standpoint of Muhammad, I'd say like he was very adamant about it. And
he was hot right off the top.
Definitely, and to me, what it seems like he's been through a lot. Especially when it comes to police officers and whatnot. He's been through a lot. And, maybe he's been harassed a lot. He's walking down the street. He explained, and they just pull him aside and, hey, what are you doing? What's your name? And he feels like that he doesn't need to give them their card he doesn't need to give him their ID, because once he gives his ID up, he said they start harassing him and charges come up and this, that, and the third. I agree with him. To me, I feel like it gives them a gateway to start
that's
harassing.
what cops do when they come and talk to you. They won't straight up tell you like, let me search your bag for drugs. They'll start asking like, what are you doing tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been a lot of car break-ins around here lately, and you match my profile.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of evidence, so I could just search your bag right now.
Yeah, you match the profile. Someone between the height of 4 foot 5 inches and 6 foot 10, between 105 and 268 pounds, Dark skin,
Yeah,
wearing a ball cap, black
inaccurate.
pants, black shirt.
That's
Inaccurate.
shortcut. That's shortcut Command C on the
Yeah.
on the operator's keyboard.
But you know, I feel what he was saying. You know, for the most part, like I understand.
But
like,
I just think the way to deal with police is just to be this super calm and super educated with them.
Exactly, and that's what I said to him. Like, you know what? I said, you know, educate yourself. You know, educate yourself, and also, you know your rights, and know exactly what you're talking about. When they ask you questions, you answer them in a proper manner, and you know, speak with intelligence, because that's what's gonna make them back off, or that's what's gonna make them not approach you the way they normally do. You know, to a person who's uneducated, because you know, a person who's uneducated,
They get scared from an educated
exactly.
person.
You know, it's intimidating. You know what I mean? Education intimidates people. So I told him, like, get educated, educate yourself, and you know, don't be a victim.
You really got to know the law better than the cop.
For
Because
sure.
the cop will just make up a law and tell it to you.
Exactly.
And he'll do that under the assumption that you don't know any better.
Exactly. And then fool you. You know.
Yeah.
And there's people getting fooled every single day. Someone, they come to their door and then it goes, yeah, we have a suspicious character walking to your house. Nobody's coming here in the last couple days. What are you talking about? We're gonna search your car.
Yeah, definitely. That's their little gateway.
Well, I know he was telling the one story about him going to football practice, and he had his
Yeah.
football gear in his hand.
Yeah.
And they pull up on him and say, "Hey, where are you going?" Like, at that point, I agree with him. The cops are stepping over the line.
Yeah.
He's going to football practice. He's a high school kid. He's got his football gear with him. You can see that.
Yeah.
If you want to get him after practice, or like, if he doesn't have any gear, if he's got a backpack that he's hiding, he's got his hood up and he's standing in an alley, yeah, there's some sketchy characters and there's ways to appear less sketchy.
It's true.
Walking down a street with your football gear, you shouldn't get stopped by the police.
No, not at all. Not at all. A police officer. Sorry. Go ahead.
They got to fill their quota, man.
For sure, it's true. And a police officer, you know, should be able to see that and be like, you know what, this young person is doing something constructive. I like that. You know, I appreciate that. You know what I mean?
He's working towards a better
Exactly,
future.
exactly. I appreciate that. As opposed to, what is that guy up to? Oh yeah, he could be faking the funk, or he could be up to no good. That's the first thing they think. You know, they see, you know, a young person, you know, from the ages of, I'd say 15. Let's go a little bit lower. 14 to, you know, 17, 18.
14-year-old kids nowadays look like they're 17 years old.
Yeah. So they see a young kid like that, they'll be like, oh, they're up to no good. You know, I remember when I was younger, I used to get harassed a lot. Now they don't bother me.
Yeah.
You know, I mind my business. I go where I need to go, and like, you know what I mean. But when I was that age, you know, being in high school, I moved to Durham. You know, I moved from Toronto. I moved to Durham, and I just remember coming out here, and the Durham police were just ridiculous.
Well, we got a nickname for them in our town. We call them the Durham Region Cowboys. Because they really got nothing better to do than arrest some stoner kid with a dime bag. And it's a damn shame that kid's going to get charged and his whole life is going to kind of get ruined because he just wanted to get a little high.
You know what? And like, this is my thing. If a kid's not doing anything wrong, let them pass. Though. Let them go.
Well, you gotta get
You
their
know what I mean?
priorities in check.
And you know what? Even approaching someone, like let's say you saw someone with their football gear.
Yeah.
You go up to them, you want to ID them. Okay, maybe start off with, "Oh, I see you're going to football practice. Good for you. I'm glad you're staying out of drugs." Start off with that. Start off on a positive.
Yeah.
Get some rapport going first before you say, "Hey, give me your ID. I want to know who you are right now. I'm not going to give you any information about myself."
Yeah.
Like it's like talking to a wall.
I think cops just have their priorities mixed up. Like, should protect and serve. When's the last time a cop stopped on the side of the road when you had like a broken car and was like, "Hey, you guys need a hand? Can I help you out?" in any
Slim
way?"
to none.
I specifically remember at least 2 cop cars drove past me and you when we were stopped on the side of the
We
floor.
were.
Slim to
And
none.
I'm thinking, shouldn't that cop stop over and be like, "Is there anything I can do for you folks? You fine citizens that are paying my salary
Yeah.
every week."
You know what it is, and this is something I just don't get. Remember that movie Law Abiding Citizen? I'm kind of getting off topic a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
see
believe
how
that's
like
great
he was a law-abiding citizen, you know. So these 2 guys came in and killed his family and whatnot, and you know after that, you know after he realized that these guys didn't get no life sentence really, or nothing really went in his favor, and he just lost his mind. He went crazy.
The system didn't work.
It didn't
so
work
he
for him.
responded in the way that worked for him.
For him, exactly.
If that happened every day, there'd be a lot more law-abiding citizens. in
Oh,
this
for
world.
sure. But you know, my thing is like I don't blame people who feel like they need to take things into their own hands, because at the end of the day, and especially when it comes as it pertains to law, one hand washes the other.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Well,
you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Well, on that note, I think we're going to take our second break, and we'll be right back with College Corners on Read the Rap. Alright, we're back with College Corners on Read the Rap. I'm your host, Andrew J. Vernali. This is my co-host.
I'm T. Swagger Ebanks, also known as Taj Ebanks.
And I'm Mark Charette, also known as Mark Charette.
Alright, coming back to the thing, I'd like to ask you guys a question. What is probably the worst horror story you have involving police brutality?
Police brutality.
Not even brutality. just police just being, the stereotypical guy walks in. He's got his black spiked up hair. His tucked in shirt. He's got his hand on his belly. He goes, "What you boys doing tonight?" Any bad experiences like that?
I have one. How was I? I was about maybe 16. I was walking from my house to my grandma's house. My grandma lived I'd say it was a 20-minute walk about from my house. So I was walking from my house to my grandma's house, and there's a main intersection. I was at the lights. I was crossing the street. The cop was on the main intersection. He drives by as I'm walking. As I cross the street now, I'm walking. I see him. Obviously, I saw him drive by. I thought he was just out of the way, he wasn't coming back or nothing like that. So as I was walking now, going up a little hill, I see that same police officer roll up. He's like to me, "Oh, where are you coming from? A robbery just happened in the area, and you fit the description." And I said to him, "Pardon me?" He's like, "Yeah, a robbery just happened, and you fit the description." I said, "I'm coming from my house." He's like, "Really?" He's like, "What's in your backpack?" "My school stuff." He's like, "Are you sure that's all in your backpack?" I was like, "Listen, come on." I'm like, if you want to ask me my name, you want to harass me, then go ahead and do it. But I'm not doing anything wrong, okay?
I'd have more respect if he just straight up came and said, "So, where the drugs?"
Or something. You know what I mean? He's like, "Well, you look like you're up to no good." How do I look like I'm up to no good? But what does a person up to no good look like? I don't look suspicious. If I was up to no good, I would have been running.
I couldn't even subscribe that. Everybody, if by that logic, everybody looks like they're up to no good.
No good, exactly. If I was up to no good, I'd be running. I'd run. You know what I'm saying? I'd be out.
Yeah. Think you could outrun that cop?
Oh, I'd be out.
You'd be gone.
Oh my gosh, I was much slimmer, lighter then. I could run. Believe me, I'd be out. He wouldn't be able to find me or catch me. He'd be like, "Okay, that stupid little kid. Where the hell did he go?"
Yeah, ain't worth his time. Ain't worth the paperwork.
Well, yeah. Anyway, so he asked me. He's like, "Oh, anything else?" I said, "Listen, I just opened my backpack. I'm like, look, this is all I got in there. I don't know what else you're looking for. I don't know what robbery you're talking about. I have nothing to do with it." He's like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "Why is that necessary?" I'm like, "I'll give you my name, no problem. Why is that necessary? What did I do to make you want to come and ask me my name? And I'm just walking."
Did you ever ask him can I leave? Or am I being detained?
No, but you know what? And this is what I learned.
As soon as you pull that card, then they start getting frustrated and they get angry with you for trying to pull that.
You know what it is?
It's true.
This is what I do. I've been taught this from a young age. Anytime they ask me my name, I ask them for their name and their badge number, and it pisses them off. They're like, later.
Later, yeah.
And it's left me alone. So anytime I do that, they just kind of fall back a bit because they know once you start asking those type of questions, you're obviously someone of intelligence. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
For me, I have no idea what you're talking about. Because where I'm at, I've been stopped by the police once. They didn't card me, they didn't ask for ID, they didn't ask to search me, they didn't ask where I was going. Well, they asked where I was going, but basically...
You look like an Abercrombie model, bro.
I don't look that threatening, I guess. And back in the day, I was half as tall, so...
They're like, this guy's a model.
Yeah.
He's
on his way to his Abercrombie and Finch interview.
Because I was just at my buddy's house, and we were going up to meet at another buddy's house, and it was late, it was dark. And instead of taking the street, which would have taken us about 20 minutes to go all the way around, there's a catwalk that cuts through, and it goes down by a little ravine and comes back up on the other side. It takes about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like 15 minutes shorter, so yeah, we're going to take that. As soon as we leave his house, we notice that there's a cop car just up the street. And we're like, yeah, it's a little unusual. Okay, we'll keep going. So we start walking towards the catwalk, and the cop pulls up, passes us, and stops their car right next to the catwalk. And it's in the middle of the road. There's they didn't pull over. They just stopped. So we just keep walking. We're like, all right. Pull into the catwalk, and they go, hey, where are you guys going?
Oh God.
And we're like, we just turned. We're going this way. So we're like, we're just going to a buddy's house. He's like, oh yeah, where does he live? And we just told him what street. It was just over there. And he's like, all right, well, you guys be careful. We saw some sketchy characters going down that way earlier.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
Oh, sure.
And we're like, okay.
They just wanted to make sure that you guys weren't those sketchy characters or whatever the case may be. Or they just wanted to just have a simple conversation. What about you, Drew, man? What kind of experience do you got?
I actually have run into the cops quite a few times in my little hometown of Curtis. I say about half the times I just ran. Because you're sitting in the woods, you see some flashlights coming down.
Yeah, you know
the option is either you just run, just get the hell out of
Yeah, you're not hurting anyone.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But God, I'm trying to think of a story that I can actually tell.
Oh man, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I have a lot. I have a lot of stories, man. Like if I start telling you the stories about,
like,
you know,
I guess I got one that's just kind of like your story.
Oh.
That I was just walking home from my buddy's place. And It was like 2:30 in the morning, and then a cop pulls up next to me, starts creeping up behind me, and I'm just like, oh shit, what is this guy doing? And then he just pops out, he goes, hey you, and I'm like, hey, what do you want from me? And he's like, what are you doing out this late? And I'm like, it's Saturday night and 2 a.m. in the morning, I'm walking home. It's pretty common occurrence. And then he's like, you know, there's been some car hopping going around here. And what did he want me to say after he said that? He goes, oh, you caught me.
Yeah.
You caught me. Oh, I'm guilty. You got me car hopping from that suggestion.
Car hopping's everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
You can't say it's
people
just
go car hopping all the time.
But you can't just stop someone and say, yeah, you've been car hopping. Like
And this was in high school, and he's like, you got any ID? I'm like, no. He's like, what's your name? I'm like, Andrew. He's like, what's your full name? I'm just like, why? It's like, why don't you have ID? It's like, I don't drive. I barely go to school. Why would I have ID? I don't drink. I'm not even 19, so why would I need an ID? And then he's like, what's in the bag? And literally, lucky for me, there was literally nothing in my bag.
Nice.
It was just an empty backpack. So I showed up to him with like a big smile on my face, and I'm like, yeah.
Looks like you were ready to go car hopping.
Exactly.
You know what? You see, like, that's why I don't believe in the whole carding thing, because that right there is a gateway for them to start harassing you or bring up, you know, old charges that you might have had or
and now
anything
you're known
like
to
that.
police.
Now you're known to police because, you know, oh yeah, we stopped this guy who was known to police. Like, why? Like,
I know cops.
I know
my
lots
parents
of
are in the school system. They have cops that go to the school. They're
Exactly.
very good friends. I've had cops come to my house for dinner.
And that's the worst part about it is because one bad cop can outshine 100 good cops.
It's true. I agree. You know.
I believe that the vast majority of cops are good.
Honestly, like you know, I don't have this fear no more because like I don't fear anything. But like when I was a kid, like when I was like when I was in high school, like my fear was like walking home late at night, a police officer seeing me and then just pulling me over and then planting something on me and saying, oh yeah, he had this, and then arrest me, and I get into shit for something that I didn't even do. You know what I mean? Because I've heard a lot of stories like that, and I was just like, whoa, like this. I pray to God this never ever happens to me. You know, ever. So yeah.
Well, that's you know, all that good and dandy. I think we're actually out of time right now.
That's a wrap for College Corner. Thank you, people. Thank you for tuning in. These are my hosts.
Mark, Jay, and Alec.
Nope.